The only source of this war is Russia, but this has changed nothing for Russia in the United Nations. However, these are the situations that have changed everything for the UN. We should recognize that the UN finds itself in a deadlock on the matters of aggression.
Today in the United Nations Security Council meeting, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky denounced Russia as a terrorist state while sitting across from the Russian ambassador, who was seen scrolling through his phone as Zelensky spoke. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov left the room even before the remarks began. Zelensky also called out the UN for its inability to meaningfully curb Russia's aggression. In his first in-person appearance at the UN General Assembly since Russia invaded his country, the Ukrainian president has had to walk a fine line, rendering criticism while seeking more aid from allies who face increasing domestic pressure to end aid commitments. But some countries are actually finding ways to work around domestic political pressure to get Ukraine the help it is asking for. Joining us now is Ambassador William Taylor, former U.S. envoy to Ukraine. Ambassador Taylor, thank you for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Let me start with this interesting report that we learned about that the U.S. It's from The Intercept, and it's that the U.S. is has secretly brokered a deal with Pakistan to provide weapons for Ukraine in exchange for an urgently needed bailout from the International Monetary Fund earlier this year. Let me just get your reactions to this reporting and this practice.
So, the U.S. government, the Pentagon, but the State Department as well, they've been searching for weapons and ammunition, the right kinds of ammunition that the Ukrainians can use all over the world. And they have gone to great lengths to identify. Some nations don't want to send their weapons or their ammunition directly to Ukraine, but they're willing to send it to us, to the United States. And so we've gone to great lengths to find this for the Ukrainians. As you've been reporting, the Ukrainians are going through the ammunition very heavily, very quickly, and there are a lot of nations out there that can do this. And so it's not surprising that we're doing everything we can to come up with more weapons, more ammunition, to keep the Ukrainians in the fight, allow them to push the Russians out of their country. That's the only thing they're after. And we can help them do that by providing the weapons both from our stocks, our manufacturers, as well as those around the world.
You certainly know the relationship Pakistan has with India, and I'm curious to get your thoughts if that complicates things. I mean, India has taken a neutral stance in Russia's conflict with Ukraine. But according to The Intercept's reporting, Pakistan, which it's, obviously, as we mentioned, is now sending arms to Ukraine. Do you see this as a potential for tension given in India and Pakistan's complicated history, that they are now perceived in the Russia-Ukraine war to be on differing sides?
Well, you're right, Eamon. It's certainly the case that the Indians have tried to stay neutral in this. They've taken advantage of the low-cost oil and gas that the Russians have had to offer because of the price cap. So the Indians have been looking to take advantage of that. The Pakistanis and Indians, they've got a rough relationship. They've got a tense relationship all along. I don't think the Pakistanis providing weapons or ammunition to the Ukrainians is going to affect that relationship. The Indians have not been aggressively supporting the Russians, and the Pakistanis have been supportive of the Ukrainians.
Ukraine's grain, as you mentioned, has become very expensive because of Russia's blockade and blockade of Kyiv's exports. Poland is one of 3 Ukrainian allies banning the import of that grain, causing considerable strain on ties with Kyiv. Do you think this rift could cause Poland to back out of helping Ukraine, or is it a rare and singular display of division between Kyiv and some of its European allies?
I think it's more the latter, Eamon. I think it's more the latter. It's a rare display, and there are, as we know, there are politics in all things. So the Poles have an election coming up. Farmers are an important constituency, as they are everywhere. So there's really an intent on the part of the Polish government to be seen to defending the farmers. And at the same time, they are among the strongest supporters of Ukraine, and they continue to be among the strongest supporters of Ukraine, both on weapons, on taking in refugees, and a range of issues that are being very helpful to Ukrainians, and they're not backing off of that. there are politics and there are issues that they have to do, things that they have to say as the election approaches. But I don't think this is a sign of a rift between Poland and Ukraine.
Let me, if I can, widen the conversation to some other news taking place at the UN. And you had the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman sitting down with Fox News in an interview that aired earlier today. What do you make of the rehabilitation of Saudi Arabia and the comeback of the Crown Prince that he is making almost 5 years to the day that Jamal Khashoggi was killed in Turkey?
No one should forget that. No one should forget how that person died. And no one will. That said, as we've seen, leaders from around the world have dealt with other leaders from around the world. Sometimes you have to deal with people you don't agree with, don't respect, but there are issues that you have to interact with people. And this is what's happening with the Saudis.
All right, Ambassador William Taylor, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you, Ayman.